Hey guys, Ryan here, back with another review from Power Rangers Zeo, the 4th release, and this would be the first, but definitely not the last time, we would get Super in the title. Let's talk toy history. Well, tag me back in, because this is one I actually had back in the day. My brother and I co-opted to get this for Christmas '97. Yep, we were taken in by the Super wording. Oh, I can't believe we fell for that. I remember it made the Super Zeo Megazord seem more vital than the original Zeo Megazord. Also, I was thinking strategy. There was no way we could have gotten the first 3 Deluxe releases that year. So I pushed for us to go with one that wouldn't combine with anything else, so it wouldn't feel like we were missing out too much. Of course, Japan had gotten it a year previously as O-Blocker, which apparently refers to it as a stack of shapes. And are there any differences to that Japanese original? Hardly any, actually. I've been freeze-framing other reviews and looking at images of it, and of the 5 main Zords, they all look exactly the same. Same stickers, same paint apps, even the silver bits on Super Zeo Zord 5's helmet. But it looks like they did get us on one thing, that being the yellow rubber plastic in these 2 swords and in the helmet crest. It looks like the images of the Japanese toy had those parts made from a more glittery material. It's very reminiscent of how we got shafted with the Season 3 gold plastic. This year, it was orange plastic. But I wouldn't call that a deal breaker, and on a long list of changes, it's one of the least offensive I can think of. And I can vouch that more than 20 years on, these pieces haven't suffered the same breakage that the gold plastic did in the Season 3 Zords. Onto the design. I really like the design of these. They kind of look like rangers in armoured suits or something. Like with the Shogun Zords from the year before, these are much more of a humanoid design. Also, you can't deny that the design focus went on the front of the Megazord this time, and on the alignment of the 5 symbols. The back is all the mess from the Zords that they don't want you to see, but I can appreciate the neatness in the way it all gets hidden away. All the symbols, apart from pink really, feature in a prominent stack in the Megazord mode. Why apart from pink? I don't know why they had to do this. I wonder whether I would have preferred a semicircle split design, but instead we get the circles on the top of her shoulders as the front-facing symbols. Maybe they wanted to ensure the full shape was shown, but if that's true, why don't they mind the 2 rectangles instead of 1 square above it? I do sometimes ponder, how did years with 2 Megazord designs get decided? Was it the result of 2 designers' different takes on the theme, or was it just the same person with 2 very opposing ideas? With Zeo you get Zords that are mythical, tying in with ancient civilizations. Then you have the symbols that are a bigger part of the motif of the Ranger suits, and it's given major prominence in the Super Zeo Megazord. What's bad about it? Well, as we've mentioned, this is a rare instance where Japan actually prioritised the look of the Megazord over the Zords. Look for proof of that in the size of the green and blue Zords. Green looks so awkwardly oversized. My brother and I used to make fun of it quite a lot, as I imagine anyone that owned this toy did. Then blue, or Super Zeo Zord 3, is kind of the equal opposite. He's too small, he's too slim. He can barely even lift his arms, although that's actually a hindrance caused by the symbol. I think because on the show they weren't half this noticeable as either too big or too small, and especially after the ruthless uniformity of the Shogun Zord proportions, these really stand out. They've obviously taken a completely different route with this one, where each Zord looks completely different. You could argue that's kind of a cool idea. It's not just 5 versions of a similar bot design. They have different arms, waist sizes, some have different head shapes. Some can technically hold things, others can't, though no accessories are included, so it's not going to happen anyway. Bit of a disappointment when you consider the Shogun Zords came with their weapons, and definitely on the show I can remember at least Super Zeo Zord 5 using a version of the Star Saber. Some have really obvious feet, while others struggle to stand. Yep, Super Zeo Zord 3 again. They take this idea of every humanoid Zord looking different to the extreme in Mystic Force's Titan Megazord, where they're even different heights. At least here, they're all designed to be as tall as each other. Also, a lot of the posability in these Zords don't help. They're results of the transformation, so on some Zords you've got legs that can do the splits, or move out backwards or sideways, but not forwards how you'd actually want them to. Unfortunately, this is one Megazord where age is starting to wear it down, specifically in the arms of Super Zeo Megazord 2. So far so good, but I can tell when you click them out of their socket for the Megazord transformation, they don't want to go anymore. They're much stiffer than they were back in the day. Because Red's head is the top of the star point, I guess they made it rubber to be safer. The problem with that is that paint really doesn't hold on to it as well as it does the plastic underneath. This is a common problem in everyone's Super Zeo Megazord. There's always a bit of paint chippage or smearage, are those words? In the top of the star point of Tommy's Zord. Stickers then, and delightfully, we're still getting exactly what we need. I will concede though that some of them were badly placed to begin with. The little triangles at the waist of Super Zeo Megazord 3, which gradually over time wore off because of the friction of the transformation. It's quite a tight spring-loaded connection, so that's why those stickers tend to go before any of the others. The rest of the stickers though seem to have held on quite well. Super Zeo Megazord is definitely a oneer. There's no other modes going on here. Red Battlezord can't join in, which I think was a bit of a missed opportunity after the options they gave us with the Falcon Zord. And yes, it can go with Pyramidus into the Warrior Mode Ultrazord, but unlike the first Megazord they gave us, there's no Chariot version. I think that's a shame, and it would have been good to have been able to combine the symbols with Pyramidus in some way, though I can appreciate that would have needed more engineering to have made it possible. So yeah, one less combination, one less Ultrazord version, but 2 power swords, hey? Maybe that makes up for it. Speaking of then, what is good about this thing? Well, I do really enjoy the transformation and that all Zords need to be combined differently, just like we saw with the Ninja Megazord. I also love how all the Zord parts are hidden away, they just don't do it like that anymore. The shape symbols are metallic paint, which is really nicely applied, and I'm glad Bandai America didn't cheap out on that one. It is a shame about the overwhelming amount of washed out grey, but it was the 90s and I'm supposed to be talking about what's good about this. So yeah, the shapes are done as well as they could be and help lend a bit more weight, sorry green, to the appeal of these Zords. Also in Megazord mode, after disappointments in the previous 2 releases, arm articulation is back. Once again, shoulders, elbows and swivels are your options here. It seems to definitely help when the arms come from one Zord rather than a mix. Unlike Zeo Megazord, there's no hand rotation, but to be honest, I don't think you need it and you can definitely get by without it. They didn't have to give us the option to be able to raise the arms fully and turn them 360. They could have left the yellow symbols as one solid piece, which would have blocked this, but you know what, I'm glad they did. Super Zeo Megazord was a very streamlined and sleek design. It was a totally different direction after the ancient civilizations theme that had led up to the first Ultrazord, but it tied in with the look of the season really well. And once again helped diversify the colour palette of the mecha of the season. There we go then, that's our look at the second combining Megazord from Power Rangers Zeo. I'm going to do one more video on the Zeo Zord line, and why not look at the 2 Jack-in-the-Box releases at the same time. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already so you don't miss out on that. Also follow me on Instagram if you're not already at Power Rangergram. Question for the comments, which is your favourite Zeo combining Megazord? The first one or this one? I'm interested to hear your opinions because for me, I kind of like both, but I'm going to give it to the first one. I feel like both Zeo combining Megazords are kind of mirror images of the Ninja and Shogun Megazords in ways, but obviously gone through the design blender and made to look totally different again. Right, that really is it for this time. Thanks for watching guys, see you later.